and it allows them to play with lineups where more players can shoot the ball. She's a backup for Leah Boston, where you can play with 5 shooters on the floor, potentially. But Damiris Dantas being out is a problem. It is genuinely a problem because Dantas is a stretch big.
Breaking news for Indiana Fever fans. Damiris Dantas is out for the final preseason game against the Atlanta Dream with a lower leg injury. I just saw the injury report and had to share it immediately. But here's the real question. Could this absence actually help the team chemistry right before the regular season starts?
But Damiris Dantas is out for this preseason game with a left leg injury. It's not good. That's not good for the Fever. So, I just saw the Fever injury report for today, and I'm a little bit late. I have to admit, I'm a little bit late to this. I have no idea. It just came up as a notification on my phone. Although, the Fever are in a much better position to deal with this now than they were maybe a year ago, or a couple of weeks ago, realistically.
Caitlin Clark is confirmed to play despite her own injury concerns, and Coach White says they're firing on all cylinders. Trust me, you don't want to miss what this means for the Fever's championship hopes. Kindly please like the video and subscribe to the channel to support us. Wait, did you hear that? Damiris Dantas is completely out for the final preseason game against Atlanta Dream. The injury report just dropped and nobody saw this coming. I was watching practice footage yesterday and Dantas was moving well.
In not wasting possessions and not wasting practice time and understanding that how you do anything is how you do everything. The communication of not taking it easy or taking a step down in drills.
How do you see Duana's fire combining with CeCe's fire? Both of them just really want to win that championship. And I know that nothing's been proven yet, but just the fire from both those players.
And them and Sophie. I mean, really, all three of them. Their competitive spirit. They're perfectionists. Whether we go from live to like skeleton stuff, to in game handling momentum shifts, handling momentum swings, handling the highs and lows. Look, it's early.
Jogging up and down the court, getting shots up with no visible issues. Now suddenly she's sidelined with a lower leg injury that has the whole Fever fanbase talking. This timing is super strange. Think about it. We're just days away from the regular season starting. The team was running final rotations, getting their chemistry right, and now one of their key bench players is suddenly unavailable. And you know what makes this even more concerning? Dantas recently experienced a death in her family. I'm not saying these things are connected, but players are human too. Sometimes what looks like a physical setback has emotional components we don't see from the outside. Let's talk about what this actually means for Indiana's rotation. Dantas was supposed to be that versatile piece off the bench. Someone who could give you solid minutes, knock down an open three, grab some rebounds, and keep the offense flowing when the starters needed a breather.
And the last one for me, last year Caitlin just was thrown into the fire straight from, NCAAs, had to get a taste of the WNBA. But now with an off seasons and time to relax and also understand what areas she wanted to get better and what were those emphases for you.
I thought she, throughout the course of the season last year, really adjusted well. Her priority was getting stronger. Getting in the weight room, being stronger, but not just getting stronger, like adding muscle. But I think the biggest thing is now knowing what to expect. I say it all the time, you don't know what you don't know. And now understanding what to expect, the ebbs and flows of a game, the season, understanding coverages, everybody's bigger, faster, stronger.
She's got that veteran presence the young players need around them. The Fever front office didn't bring her in by accident. They wanted her specific skill set as part of their championship formula. That's the thing about this team. They're not building for next year or the year after. The front office put together this roster with championship aspirations right now. Every single player matters in that equation. When you're trying to win it all, losing even your 8th or 9th rotation player can throw everything off balance. Chemistry takes time to build, and Dantas was part of that equation. But here's something interesting I've noticed watching basketball for years. Sometimes when a player goes down, it creates opportunities that nobody saw coming. Imagine this, a rookie who was only supposed to play garbage minutes now gets real playing time. She hits a couple shots, gains confidence, and suddenly becomes a contributor nobody expected.
On a positive, Caitlin Clark's not even on the injury report. She's not even on the injury report. That is a positive, but it's not great. And it allows them to play with lineups where more players can shoot the ball. She's a backup for Leah Boston, where you can play with 5 shooters on the floor, potentially. So, yeah, it is not ideal seeing Damiris Dantas out. It's not great for the Fever. Because Damiris Dantas has not... injuries are starting to be a lot this season, yeah. Damiris Dantas is not... she's not played a preseason game. She hasn't.
That kind of thing happens all the time in the WNBA. Team chemistry can actually improve when players are forced to step up in new roles. Speaking of chemistry, I've been watching Coach White's reactions to all this drama. She hasn't shown any panic at all. No emergency press conferences, no desperate lineup shuffling. She's been cool as ice about the whole situation. That tells me something really important about this team's depth. White knows she's got players who can fill those minutes. She's not worried. So maybe we shouldn't be either. But the question everyone's asking in their group chats right now, what does this mean for Caitlin Clark? She's already carrying so much responsibility as the face of this franchise. Does Dantas being out put even more weight on those rookie shoulders? Will Clark need to play more minutes, create more offense, grab more rebounds? The expectations for her were already sky high, and now they might be even higher. Here's the good news though. Despite her own injury concerns earlier this week, Clark is confirmed to play in this final preseason game. She was limited in some practice sessions with what the team called precautionary rest. But she's ready to go against the dream. That shows you everything about her dedication to this team and to the fans who are packing arenas just to see her play. You know what's crazy? Clark could have easily said, "I'm sitting this one out. It's just preseason." Nobody would have blamed her. But that's not who she is. She wants those reps, wants to build chemistry with her teammates, and wants to give fans who paid good money what they came for. This game against the Dream just got way more interesting. With Dantas out, we're going to see Clark's leadership tested in new ways. Will she take more control of the offense? Will she look to get other bench players involved to build their confidence? How will she adapt to the different lineup combinations Coach White puts around her? I'm especially watching how Clark connects with whoever gets those Dantas minutes. That on-court chemistry could become super important when the games start counting for real next week. Clark has already shown amazing court vision, finding teammates for open looks that most rookies wouldn't even see. But now she'll need to develop that same connection with different players. The Fever were already one of the most interesting teams to watch this season. Now, with this last-minute lineup change, this final preseason game becomes a crucial test run for what might become their regular season rotation. If there was ever a meaningless preseason game that actually means something, it's this one against the Dream. Hey there! The Fever are still going to make a ton of noise even without Dantas. Clark's stepping up big time, and that's exactly what they need right now. She's taking control of her narrative and the team's performance, with this new confidence we're seeing from her. You gotta watch this final preseason game against the Dream. It's basically a preview of their championship potential right before the real season kicks off. The rotations, the chemistry, the defensive schemes, everything matters now. The front office isn't playing around this season. It's championship or nothing for them. Amber Cox and Kelly Krauskopf know anything less than a championship would be a disappointment.